Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jake Line-Connect here, and of course, head coach Steve Jennings. Coach, let's start with Friday night. A game a little bit frustrating, no doubt. A game that, like we talked about, you want to put in the rearview mirror. But before we can do that, we have to kind of talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely. And a whole lot frustrating.
Yeah. But it ends up being a 5-4 loss at home after being up 2-0 with 23 seconds into the second period. And like, you and I talked about pregame Saturday, it felt like you'd pretty much dominated the majority of that game. It just there was just a small portion of the second period where things definitely went Bismarck's way, let's put it that way. And they end up scoring a handful of goals there and end up winning 5-4. I guess let's just start with what your guys, as a coaching staff, what your thoughts were on the game. And then I want to get into, or if you wouldn't mind touching on what happened. Like, is it that the guys let off? Because I don't really know that that's necessarily the case. I think, of course, you make a goaltending change and there's a timeout called and you regroup. Walk us through how all that went down, how that game broke down.
Yeah, I mean, that first goal came off a mismanaged change, right, and a quick transition to the puck. And, some of that is, again, it's just people learning and listening and applying what we're talking about, right? And so they snuck a guy behind us. They sprung him in on a breakaway and missed assignment. So, and then at that point, we need Greg to make a save that, it's a breakaway save. Those are under pressure, and there's a reason why you want to get one of those every once in a while. So that goes in the back of the net, and I think that rattled people a little bit. And then I think that's where mentally the group is getting better, but we're not quite there yet. The younger guys are still learning how to apply a short memory, right? And on that, it's really that goal that you don't like has to be water going down a duck's back. It's just got to get on and off, and I think that rested in people's head a little bit too much, and so then you get that second goal quick, and now people are worried about making mistakes and trying to apply, trying to make up for it. So therefore, we get a little bit out of our game. We're running around instead of sticking with our process, and so that winds up in goal 3 and goal 4. Mm-hmm. And, we take the time out, slow things down, make the goalie change. I mean, that had the desired effect. But, as Zach and I look at it, it's never really exciting when we have to change a goalie mid-game, right? We have a kid who's come in ready to play. And, sometimes when you make a goalie change, it's about the goalie. And other times it's about the team. Mm-hmm. And I think Saturday was about the team more than the goalie at that point.
Yeah, just energized the bench and has a variety of different impacts. And then the fifth goal, kind of a tough one because it's a tight angle, but you've got a defenseman and one of the Bismarck skaters kind of on the side of the net, and there's a lot happening there. But a great pushback in the third. You guys had to feel pretty good about the way things got started in the third period and the way your team responded.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a big pushback, came right out, scored again, carried momentum. Pretty unfortunate. I have to be careful because of the gag rule. A pretty unfortunate application loosely of the rules, and we wind up losing a very valuable player for a long time, and that kind of hurt our momentum. We did still score. That gets called back, and again, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Right. All right. Well, we move on to Saturday, and Saturday. Before the game again, you and I talked a little bit about how you addressed the team about putting that game behind them. And it sure seemed to me that Saturday was a big step in the right direction when it comes to consistency and playing a full 60 minutes like you and I have talked about on several occasions. Really felt like a solid game Saturday night from the first puck drop to the final horn. It really seemed like they put it together and stayed focused, stayed on it. Even though, again, Bismarck pushes back somewhat, which is, they're going to do, like you've mentioned before, it's hockey. I mean, there's right. Going to be goals scored, but a pretty solid game Saturday. You got to feel pretty good about the way your team responded on the road.
Yeah, I liked it, right, and I thought they came out with a bit of a drive, definitely trying to learn lessons and apply lessons from the night prior. Thought they did a really good job with that, sticking with it. They, Bismarck did push. Couple of times they pushed back pretty hard, and I think our guys met their challenge, pushed back, and that was really good.
Yeah, for sure. Brad, to see scoring getting spread around once again. Ronan Walsh continues with his scoring streak, and Cade Nielsen with a big night on Saturday night there. 2 goals and 2 assists. Great to see that leadership kind of show the way, so to speak, there in Bismarck. Your power,
Jacob Bosse again, really good, right? And so that line did a tremendous job leading.
Chase Davis with a huge goal. We'll talk with him in just a little bit. Penalty kill, league leading right now, 89.9%. Power play at 17.5%, and you talked about it. You felt like the specialty teams was going to be a big part of this weekend, and it ended up being the case. You got to feel pretty good again about your penalty kill, killing off a 5-on-3 that was almost a full minute, and a handful of penalties, especially early on in that game. It really felt like that could have turned a tide, but your kill stood strong and made sure that they didn't find their way on the scoreboard. Yeah,
the guys who are involved in the kill take a lot of pride in what they're doing, which is great. And I think their results are really helping us, right? It's helping us get stability. It's also helping us build momentum there. And the same thing with the power play. I think the power play has been eking up and getting more productive. I think at one point we had fallen down to 13%, and so it's slowly producing more regularly. We're seeing the number come up, and even when they don't score, they're doing a way better job about getting us momentum. I mean, I'd like to have that shorthanded goal back at the end there on Saturday. I think that's, again, where veteran guys have to understand a team who's down is going to come running at it, and so, again, we learn.
Yeah. So. All right, well, moving forward, you've got an interesting week here with the holiday getting mixed in there. How do you work around that as a team? Obviously, you're going to probably, I would guess anyway, have to give them a little time, and certainly there's big meals and a lot of snacking and different things that go on. How do you prepare for that as a coaching staff, and how do you address the guys and help them enjoy the holiday, yet be responsible about it?
Yeah, so the big thing is we don't really change our process, right? So we'll still skate on Thursday as normal, right? And we'll get the guys out. Maybe, that's an important day for us typically on any given week, and we're going to play on the weekend, so we need to be ready for that. And we have, our nutritionist who helps us, and she'll talk to the kids about how to eat and enjoy without doing it in the way that actually puts a boat anchor around their waist before they play the game.
I will have a boat anchor, just so you know.
Understood.
Let's see. We've got Minot coming up. Right now, the standings of North Iowa, they're up top right now with 28 points. Austin at 25 points in second. Then Minot with 23. The Wings with 21. St. Cloud with 18. Again, they are back on games, though. I think they've only got like 15 games played. Bismarck with 11 points at the bottom of the division. Minot swept Austin over the weekend. Prior to that, they split with St. Cloud and then split with the Wings. They are finding ways to win and seem to be like a team that's improving. What do you know about Minot, and what have you got to do this weekend?
Yeah, they are just what you say, right? They're improving. They're making some acquisitions on players. They play an aggressive style. They're opportunistic, right? They have, in watching them, they capitalize on opportunities, and that's one of the things that when we make mistakes, we need to be careful to not allow our mistake to translate into a goal against. And I think they have so far figured out a pretty good way against pretty much everyone to find a way to make that happen, right? So puck management for us is going to be really important this weekend, and actually sticking with our game plan. Well, it's funny. I write objectives up on the board every game before. At times I feel like I'm writing the exact same things, and I've related it to the kids. Like, if we follow this recipe, we're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And it's so true when we hit our objectives. And even it's not even always 100%, but if we hit the majority of our objectives, we're always coming out on the positive side of games. So that's the part for us that we're again getting better with. When I look at at the start of the year when we were still really crazy up and down, I think we're getting more and more stability. We're getting closer and closer to that full 60 minutes. I think that's the part that's helping us.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, on a personal note, how do you plan on spending the holidays? You got any big plans for Thanksgiving?
I won't say big plans. I'm going to go up Tuesday night. My son plays at the University of St. Thomas, so I'll go up and see him this week. They have a rare weeknight game, so I'm going to take a ride up there and see him. He's not going to be home for the holiday. And then my daughter just flew in, so we'll have a little bit of a Thanksgiving as a family together here. And then I think Zach and his family will come join us, and we'll just have a kind of low-key thing there. It'll be nice for South Dakota Thanksgiving. Don't think there'll be pheasant on the menu, but we'll have a good time.
I don't think anybody eats pheasant on Thanksgiving. I mean,
according to the signs around town, people eat it on pizzas and all sorts of stuff. So why not?
Well, yeah, because it's not traditional. It's turkey. But anyway, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and best of luck to Matt and his team. Speaking of which, Minot, by the way, does have a midweek game. They play against Bismarck, I think, on Wednesday night. So maybe that helps a little bit too. Find them with some legs that may not be quite as fresh. So there's that. But anyway, Coach, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and thanks so much for joining us on the show here. And best of luck coming up against Minot.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll continue on with Wings Weekly with the player coming up after this.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and
burgers.
There's more where this came from. To the greatest of all times.
Well, we continue on with Wings Weekly, and as usual, a player is joining me, and in this case, it's Chase Davis of Alpharetta, Georgia. Chase, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, Georgia winters are a whole heck of a lot different than South Dakota winters.
They are. Yes, they are.
And we have just begun. What are your initial impressions of Aberdeen? I mean, like I said, we're just kind of getting started with the winter and the cold weather. How's that treated you so far?
The winter, not my favorite so far. Getting used to it, to go buy some warmer clothes. You know, being from Georgia, it doesn't get too cold.
Yeah.
But it's a lot different from home. I'm used to more bigger cities, and everywhere I've played has also been bigger cities. But it's also really cool, you know, being in a small city, because you walk around, everyone notices you.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, like, you're number 9, Davis. You know, I was at Buffalo Wild Wings the other day, and they're like, oh, like, great game last weekend. So I think it's the coolest thing ever is to have all the fans recognize you.
Yeah. Well, and that is one of the nice things about a town of 27,000, 28,000 people is that, you get 1,500 people in the stands, and the Wings as a group are recognizable people. You know, you guys go out, especially when you're in bunches. Like I know it used to be oftentimes you go to a restaurant or whatever, and everybody can pick you guys out. And I hear about it often. You know, people that, I saw the Wings. They were at whatever restaurant. So that is pretty cool that it gets the fan base an opportunity to get to know you guys a little bit. So that's cool. How did you get started? And I ask everybody this, but I think it's interesting because it's different for everybody. But how do you get started playing hockey, especially being from a southern state when, and I know that in Florida and Arizona and even Nevada and stuff, hockey's really seen kind of a boost lately, but it never really used to be that way in the warmer weather states. Hockey wasn't really a thing. Did you have an influence, maybe a family member or somebody that played, or how did you get going?
So my neighbors were actually from Michigan, and it always started off playing street hockey.
Okay.
So we played street hockey every day. I loved it, and they got me on the ice with them. It was all about when I was about 6 years old, so I was still younger. And then back then we had the Atlanta Thrashers. So I started going to Thrashers games, and all the other little youth camps they had. So I went to those, and I just fell in love with hockey.
Excellent. So we can thank a family from Michigan for introducing you to hockey. That's awesome. All right. I always notice, I feel like when you get the puck on your stick, and you can make a breakaway happen pretty quick. You've got a lot of speed. What would your style of play be defined as, would you say?
I said my size and speed makes me more of a power forward now. I've been working a lot on my physical part of my game.
Sure.
That's really helped me a lot in this league.
Power forward, right on. How about, I wanted to talk, I hate to keep bringing this up because I keep telling Coach, well, we got to put Friday night's game behind us, but then it's like, well, it's tough to do that just yet. Defending the Odie is a big thing, and it says right on the door when you walk out, this is our home, treated as such and so on. How do you make it, as a team, make it difficult for other teams to play here in this building? Is there something that you guys can do, or something that maybe not tangible, but just an attitude kind of where you're taking pride in defending your home ice?
Yeah, I think it's all about the energy, like scoring goals, stay up. Fans are going, so that makes us keeps us going too.
Sure.
But I think our main thing is just keeping that energy always up. So if they score a goal, don't go down with it, stay up. And for other teams, I walked in here and I heard there's fans out there going crazy. I'd be like, oh no, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I think just keeping the energy up the whole game.
Well, and it's funny because, even during the broadcast on Friday night, during the game, I remember saying that, you could tell that the energy had been sucked out of the building,
Yeah.
And then it came roaring back there in the third, though, and I remember looking over at the crowd and everybody's on their feet and stuff.
Exactly.
So I think that that is important to keep that energy going, because it does have a trickle down effect that can, obviously affects the fans, and then the fans affect players and so on. So that's great, a great piece of advice there, and good plan. All right, how about holidays coming up? We've got Thanksgiving on the way. What would you say your favorite holiday is?
Easily Christmas.
Yeah?
I love all the Christmas music. I've already started making my Christmas playlist.
Yeah?
I'm really excited for Christmas. I love it.
I was just going to say why, follow that up with, is it the gifts, is it whatever, but it's the music.
I love the Christmas music.
Nice. I like that. All right. There's some people that are like, okay, you can play Christmas music on Christmas Day only, otherwise turn it off, it's too much. But then there's others that'll listen to it year-round. I'm not saying I could do year-round, but
Yeah, not year-round.
I'm a fan of Christmas music too. I kind of grew up that way. Right after Halloween, my mom would start playing Christmas music, so that's kind of in my wheelhouse too. If you had the perfect Thanksgiving meal laid out for you, what would it look like? What would that consist of?
I'm not the biggest turkey guy, so I'd probably go ham.
Yeah.
Hawaiian rolls are big, and the mac and cheese. Then dessert, I'm a big banana pudding guy.
Yeah?
I love banana pudding.
Okay. Mac and cheese is something that strikes me as it seems like it's becoming more and more popular when it comes to Thanksgiving, but not something I think of traditionally when it comes to Thanksgiving, but it seems like that the gourmet stuff with the crusted cheese on top, that's getting more and more popular. All right, another goofy question here for you. If you could be any superhero, who would you be and why?
Easy, Frozone.
That quick?
Easy. I've always, and when I first saw it, I thought it was the coolest thing. It just comes out, sliding around, everything. I've rewatched that movie so many times. Frozone's just my go-to.
Megan is doing cartwheels over there. That's awesome. I did not expect that. That's good. Excellent. How about, okay, so not a superhero, but a character, just a character in any movie, any book, anything. Who can you most relate to? Who would you be like, you know what? If I was going to play somebody, I want to be that person.
I don't know about relate, but I want to be Jason Statham. He goes crazy in movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To be able to, someone walks up to you, just let him know his boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Oh, let's see. I asked Doobie this question earlier this year.
I saw that answer.
I thought it was pretty good, but I got to ask you too, because you seem like a pretty chill, kind of quiet guy in a lot of ways. But would you rather be the smartest guy in the room or the funniest guy in the room?
I'm gonna say smartest.
Yeah.
I think being smart will take you farther than being funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and smart there's a wittiness about it too. It doesn't necessarily, so you can be a little bit of both. But
you be a funny smart.
Yeah. And of course, then Doobie's kids.
He
Claims he's both. All right. Well, you've got Minot coming up, and as I mentioned to Coach just a little bit ago, they actually have a game against Bismarck midweek, but they come into town Friday and Saturday here, home games at the Odie, as we've talked about defending the Odie and everything. And Minot is a team that has just swept Austin. They split with the St. Cloud the week before. Split with the Wings the week prior to that. They have had some success and are experiencing some growth and improvement. What do you guys as a team have to do to come away with some wins here this weekend?
It all starts in practice. So today we had a good, hard practice, and we continue throughout the rest of the week, have a nice 3 days of practice, work hard. That's where it all starts. Start focusing now for it. Then when it comes to Friday, play each period, one period at a time.
All starts with preparation. Very nice. All right. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to family and friends at home.
There you go.
And my roommate, Kay Nielsen.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Chase. Thanks so much for letting the fans get to know you a little bit more. I know it's always a favorite segment for a lot of people to get a chance to kind of get to know you guys a little bit away from the ice. So,
thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, your Wings will finish off the month of November at home inside the Odie Ice Center this Friday and Saturday, November 26th and 27th, as we host the Minot Minotauros. Friday, doors open at 5:30, puck drops at 7:15. $15 barstool seats are available in the Automax Party Deck. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for tickets. Get in on the Black Friday deal. Buy one ticket at the door at regular price and get one other for just $5. Saturday night, doors open at 5:30, puck drops at 7:15. $15 barstool seats are once again available in the Automax Party Deck. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 to snag your seat. We are celebrating Small Business Saturday. Show your receipt from any small business in Aberdeen and receive a $5 ticket at the door. Receipt must be dated Friday or Saturday, November 26th and 27th. Stick around after the game to skate with the Wings and get to Saturday's game before warm-ups to see something new that's coming up on the ice. You can get your tickets ahead of the weekend games online at tickets.aberdeenwings.com. $10 general admission tickets are also available at any Sea Express location in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Season tickets and corporate night sponsorships are available for the 2021-2022 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episode on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Chase Davis, thanks so much for coming on Wings Weekly and again getting an opportunity for people to know you a little bit better.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.